We return to the start for the semi-final in the Double Sculls Challenge Cup. See the crews here lined up on the start on the near side in front of us from Bruges and Ghent in Belgium. We've got Brys and Van Zandweghe, and on the other side a combination from Slovenia and Israel. So interesting crews here.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that it's your job to do the pronunciations at the start, although you did drop out that Polish one.
So the doubles here, we have Fistravec and Fridman from Slovenia and Israel, and Brys and Van Zandweghe from Bruges and Ghent. And it's not quite time to go yet. You can see there the starters. We've got the boats lined up just in the right-hand corner of the shot, as Richard Phelps is calling them forwards.
This double that we got in picture, I saw them racing and they just looked so dominant yesterday, so strong.
And ready. I will start you like this.
Slovenian-Israeli double might give you a little bit of that story as they go down the course, how they came together. We'll watch the start now. Just making sure they're absolutely ready. So of course they've got cocks. They have to. It's quite tricky in a scull to. You have to raise your hand if you're not ready, but you kind of need to keep hold of both blades, so it's quite tricky.
Attention! Relax, relax.
So Richard Phelps was about to do the start, but he's told him to relax. So now told him to get ready again. See them. Richard Phelps, as the umpire, has to use his common sense here, see that they're ready.
Go!
And when the boats were sat and stable, all 8 blades were sitting nicely in the water. He said the word go, and they've got away to a very smart start. Interesting steering from the double on the left from Slovenia and Israel.
So a lot of people up at the start, and it's not surprising. This is just one of the best places to watch them. When you see that go off, it's so exciting. And often, this is where it all happens. You know, by halfway down the course, the race might be pretty much over, but you see the racing here. A little bit of interesting steering. Richard Phelps had to work very hard in the last race that we saw him umpiring on to keep the crews apart. So he's going to have to work as hard. He's having to do some work again. It's blustery conditions, these cockless boats.
He's trying to get Fistravec and Fridman back onto their station in the blue. They've drifted out. I think they're still out of their water. They really don't want to have a clash now, otherwise Richard Phelps can have some work to do. And they have made that correction as he's asked them. As we see a very upright style from the Belgian double. Look at that white line on Van Zandweghe and Brys in the stroke seat. Really upright, you can see not so much reach from Brys in the bow seat, just with his body straight up and down. I think because he's missing that length, he's not closing that angle between his legs and his body. He's not quite getting the length he needs to.
Yeah, they would have their work cut out, this Belgian double. The current Belgian lightweight double, and against this Slovenian-Israeli double, who are really big guys. You've got the program there with their weights. I was looking yesterday, and they've got some pretty strong guys in there.
Absolutely huge mismatch in weight. We've got about average of 15 stone in one boat, average of 11 stone in the other, 11 and a half in the Belgian double. And this is the Belgian double that went to Olympic trials.
Former junior under-23s. But it was, we told the story of this, you've got two really interesting, kind of quite sad stories playing out here. So in the Belgian double, they went to Olympic trials, they qualified for Rio in the last chance regatta, they made it through. But so did their single, and Belgium, it was so tight for qualification, Belgium was only allowed to send one more boat, and they chose to send the single rather than the double. So that was their story to get here.
Horrible choice for them to have to make.
Awful.
And this double being the unlucky losers in that case.
And in the boat on the right-hand side of your picture, in the blue and black, the Slovenian and Israeli again. So in the bow seat, Gasper Fistravec, former quad junior champion. He failed to qualify for Rio, and Fridman has been in the stroke seat. He was trying to qualify the single and didn't quite make it. So these two guys, two internationals from different countries. It's how it works, isn't it, Greg? You just get to know, you race on the team for a long time. The Slovenian has been competing internationally since 2002. and the Israelis been competing since 2006. You get to know each other. Neither of them qualified. I wonder where the conversation happened, at what point they had a conversation that they would get together and come and race at Henley.
I'd put my money on Mr. Pickwick's in Lucerne alongside the water if I had to go somewhere. But no, real camaraderie, real mutual respect, particularly, as you say, amongst the single scullers who will have raced each other throughout the years. And so to see this double with the Slovenian and the Israeli sculler who both went for Olympic selection, choosing to put a double together and come to Henley is absolutely fantastic.
So they've dropped their rate down to 32 now, still looking very strong, very dominant. They've got that clear water, they can sit and enjoy this. And there is just something about it. We've both raced the single internationally, and the first time I raced the single internationally, it caught me by surprise. I finished my race, and then the other scullers were calling across the water, "Hey, Great Britain, who are you? You're new." And it's the first time you don't get that in the crew boats, that you really get to know each other. You've got no one else out there on the water. You get to know each other. And so you've got these two scullers from different countries coming together to form this beautiful double at Henley. Look at that.
Well, they look like could have been sculling together for a very, very long time, the way they're moving. This heavyweight double of Fistravec in the bow seat and Fridman in the stroke seat. And I commentated with Mark Hunter the other day, and we talked about heavyweights racing lightweights. On that occasion, the lightweights came out on top. The heavyweight double we see here out in front ahead of the Belgian lightweight double, and what you know about lightweights is you can never ever count them out. They're so fit, they're so determined, and I'm sure the Belgian double will keep putting pressure on the whole way down here. And we've still got a good 3 minutes or so of this race left, so something could still definitely happen for the Belgians.
And as they come down the enclosures, their quote from yesterday was that they loved the clapping coming down the enclosures. It was a real thrill for them. It said it was the most exciting regatta they've ever raced at. So even though they're coming in second place here in the behind, it's you know, as you come past the enclosures, there's quite a British thing going on of definitely clapping the plucky losers in any race. You still get that good applause. You still get, as you come into the enclosures, there's a kind of roar from the crowds as they come down.
We do, as we hear that drone whizzing into action to get some pictures for us. And like you say, they'll come down towards that enclosure. The enclosures are pretty packed now. The sun's out. It's Saturday afternoon. This is about the best time at Henley. And we can see the shot now. So we look overhead and see a beautiful picture of that double moving so well. As we say, they only came together after the qualifying regatta in Lucerne about a month ago. But we see this double from Slovenia and Israel on the right moving very, very smoothly.
Just love watching that double move. They're at about 32, 33 there. I mean, it's easy for them to look good because they're well up ahead. They can relax. But it'd be interesting to see them in the final tomorrow. If nothing else happens and they make it through here, they've just got such a relaxed rhythm. I mean, I think that's what happens when you've got friends in a boat. You know, there's so much. A double is a really interesting boat because it's doubles and pairs. The relationship you have with each other is really important. I mean, you know about that, Greg. But it is as important really as your ergo scores and your technique performance. Talk about that, the relationship that you have and how important that is.
Well, as you say, I was able to row with my brother at the Olympic Games, and I suppose if you want to row with someone, ideally you'd row with yourself, a carbon copy of yourself who copied everything you did, thought like you did, which is why we often see brothers rowing together. But like you say, building that chemistry, building that understanding, building that belief in each other is so important. And it looks like the double from Slovenia and Israel have been able to do that very effectively. And they're now able to enjoy that applause that you spoke about as they come down, passing the massed crowds of the grandstand here at Henley. And we know waiting in the final for them will be Nick Middleton and Jack Beaumont, who we saw just earlier. And I think it's going to be a fantastic final in the double scull tomorrow.
So Leander reigning holders of the double, and they've won, I think, 4 or 5 times in the past 10 years. But they're going to be put under pressure by this double, I think. Certainly tune in if you're watching. Tune in to watch that race.
So we see the Belgian double coming through in second place, probably about a length of clear water, so 2 lengths to confirm. A winner the double for Fistravec and Fridman, ahead of Brys and Brys Zandweghe.